We sometimes start out early with some writing to get things going. And it starts out by saying, "Good evening, my little ones. As the rose opens its bloom to the sun, so do you open your heart to the sun of God's love when you come to the circle of light, seeking the warmth of His touch as He makes known to you His presence within the depths of your soul. When your hearts cry out for the embrace of His love, and you reach out in many ways to satisfy the longing that you misunderstand, for you are reaching out instead of within, and you find the outer husk of life. Remember, my beloveds, you already inherit the kingdom of God. You do not have to earn it. It is already yours. But when your attention is given to the illusions of the physical, you miss the mark and receive not the greatness and glory of that which is yours for the taking. Learn to look within for the fulfillment that awaits you. God is everywhere present, as you say, but the depth and breadth of His being is to be found within you. Remember that you and God are one, and as you look within yourself to find His presence and go beyond the outer edges of your consciousness to that which is not known to the physical senses, go beyond the outer world and wait with patience in the stillness at the center of creation, where dwells the heart of life. At the center of the heart is the seed of life that emanates multitudinous of life, expressing in more ways than your numbers can count the glory of God's kingdom. I turn that on. Oh, you want the air conditioning? Oh, but to part of it. My little ones, it is with great joy and tenderness that I greet you this evening in this circle of light. It is with great happiness that many here from this side of the veil are with you tonight. Some of you may not know that you have helpers from this side of life, but all of you do, and they are grateful that you have found your way here, those who have not been before. As we look at the spiritual side of life, let us think about what it means to you. Let us think of the season that we are moving into. In the springtime, the blooms come forth, the sun brings them forth, and to show all their glory and beauty. And as with you, when you open your heart and your mind and your soul to the inner being of God that dwells there, so do you bloom and show the beauty of your glory. You have found your way here this evening to be touched by the tenderness of God's love and to have an opportunity to know and understand that much, much more awaits you than you have any concept of. There is much to learn on your physical plane, but there is also much to learn on the spiritual plane. As you go through your physical life, do it with love understand that what divine love is. Reach higher in your consciousness to bring down the understanding and the glory and the beauty of God's love. Let it be expressed from your countenance. When you look at someone, look at them with loving eyes. When you think of someone, no matter what they are expressing in the outer, think of them with love, unconditional love. Be at peace within yourself and look for that center of your being where God dwells. Take a little time each day to go within, and it does not matter whether you feel anything or whether you get anything. There are things happening, and if you will be patient and take 10 to 20 minutes just to sit in the stillness with your eyes closed and your body relaxed and your mind at peace, and let it be as still as you can allow it to be, and listen. Do not expect any miraculous thing to happen, although sometimes it does. But God's touch is very subtle. His voice is very subtle. And maybe it will not be in words, but it will be in understanding, in knowing that presses forth in your consciousness. Do not doubt. When you sit down to make contact with the inner self of you that is God, let it be with love, and know that love surrounds you and that love fills you, and nothing can come near you that is not loving, nothing that is not of divine light. And when you are at peace and you have taken several deep breaths to relax your body, and then think the word peace in your mind and feel the peace as you think it. Then be still and just be. My dear ones, you will be having communion with the Father within you, the Creator of your being. And if you'll be patient, you will feel His love. You will feel His gentle touch, and you will understand His communication to you. As you practice this for a while, there will be times in the busiest times of your day that you will feel His presence within you, guiding you, helping you to understand, helping you to be at peace, no matter what the outer world is doing. For you live within your consciousness, where God dwells. This is where you truly live. And when you learn to find the power of that peace, when you learn to allow God's love to guide you, and this is not churchism or religionism, as some of you might think. It is the real thing. It is truly the Creator of your being. In the springtime, nature is coming forth with all this beauty and all this glory. The birds are singing, and the animals are coming forth to greet the sun. And this is a good time to make a beginning, to allow yourself to come forth from your shell, maybe that you have built around you. And maybe you wear many hats, as some people say, or many faces. But when you go within to greet the Father of your being, allow yourself to be your true self. It matters not what has gone before in the past. God loves you without any condemnation. He loves you unconditional, no matter what is happening in your life or what has happened in your life. You are his child, and he loves you with a love so great you could not even begin to understand it with your human mind. This message that is coming forth to you tonight is coming to maybe awaken within you something that you have been reaching for, something that you have been longing for. And I tell you, my dear one, it is within you, not in the outer world. Yes, you have to deal with the outer world because you have made an agreement to go through this play on the stage that you call the earth plane. But you also have the inner world within you, and you can use the inner world of God's kingdom to help you to keep your balance as you're going through this play on a stage. Some are thinking, why did we come to this place if there's so much more beauty and glory in the inner world? You came to learn and to grow. You came to have experience so that you will know more of what you truly are by knowing what you are not. This sounds contradictory, but you see, my dear one, when you are cut off from the source in your thoughts, you're never really cut off from the source. But when you have forgotten the true nature of your being, and you are left in this world of confusion and illusion for a while, you struggle and know not what to do. But when you learn to go within and reach for the Father's hand and know that he is there. He is there all of the time, my dear one. But you have to turn off the world and the clamor of the marketplace to hear his gentle voice and to feel his touch and to know his love for you. I tell you, my dear ones, once you know God's love for you, everything else is secondary. Once you know that you truly are his child, and that you truly are in his keeping, then you need not be concerned or fear anything. As you turn loose of worry and fear and doubt, then you can reach within so much easier as you realize that everything, every experience that is going before you, everything in your life has a reason and a purpose. You may not understand it at the moment, and you may not understand it for a long time, but it does. And when you learn to know the truth of your being and the truth of life, not the physical truth, but the eternal truth, then you open to the heart of life, and all of its glory pours out upon you, and God's being shines forth from your countenance. and those around you will know that you have walked with God. It seems to be a solemn message that is coming to you this evening, but I mean it not to be so. It is good to laugh. It is good to feel the joy within your being. It is good to express this joy. It is good to know the love of each other. Because, my dear ones, everyone is God. Everything that you see is God. And when you look in the eyes of another, you are looking at God. Know this within your being, whether they know it or not, and treat it as such. When you do everything that you do as unto God, then you are not missing the mark. You are hitting the mark. When you think all your thoughts as thinking them to God, then you are hitting the mark. As you grow, as you move forward on this road that you have taken for your growth, use everything, every experience as an opportunity. Some may say the trouble and problems, but my dear ones, if you will think of everything that happens as an opportunity for you to express the love of God, instead of being upset and discouraged and frustrated, you can know that there is a reason. There is a reason for all that happens in your life. And the reason is for your understanding and for your growth. The things that seem contradictory to you will be made clear when you learn to go within and listen to that inner voice that beckons to you. All will be known, and you will find yourself, your real self. You will find the God being that you are, and you will know that life is much, much more than this physical plane. This physical plane is a very small part of life, and that you are much more than your physical bodies or your mind. You are spirit at its highest source. You are consciousness that is one with the consciousness of the Creator. This sounds a little too much for some of you, but when you consider, where did you come from? Yes, you came from your mother's womb, but is that where you really originated? Think on this and know the truth of life. When you understand that you are divine, you always have been, you are now, and you always will be, that you are an eternal being, then all your fears can melt away. And it matters not what others might think of you. It matters not what others might say. Even those that are very close to you, they have to go their way and have to awaken in their own time. And when your time to awaken, as the flowers awaken in the springtime, when your time comes to awaken, do not hesitate because someone else might not agree with it. Know that you are your own being and be true to that spiritual being that you are. It matters not what others might think, but it does matter how you react, how you handle the situations that come up in front of you, and how you react to others' reactions. This matters greatly. And if you can learn to react and to handle everything with love, divine love, then you are growing. You are moving higher in consciousness. You are understanding the nature of life, and you are not allowing the outer illusions of this world to distract you. When someone is upset with you, that is part of the illusion. For you see, they are truly not upset with you. They are upset within themselves, and you are handy and they are taking it out on you. When you understand this, then you need not strike back with anger. You can send them God's love, and you can be at peace. Because this is what they need. They need peace and love. And when you do this, you are raising your consciousness. You are moving higher into the understanding of the depth and the breadth of life. You are coming closer to the heart of God. In these Wednesday night circle of light, we give you opportunity to ask questions if you so desire. Let us take this time to allow you to ask questions if you will. Do not hesitate if you have questions and wish to know more. The personal questions, the real personal questions, I would have you to set aside, but questions of a spiritual nature, even if it pertains to yourself, is all right. Are there questions this evening? Let us think of the question of what is love, God's love. It is much more than your language can convey. It is kindness, it is humility, it is honesty. Being honest to yourself is very important. When you learn to be honest yourself, then it is much easier to be honest with others. When you learn to be true to yourself and your divine being, then you are being true to all others, no matter what the conditions are. Love is the outpouring of life. Life and love are one. Life, love, and God are one. Many are turned off by the word God because of the churches that have expressed it in a fearful way. God never condemns you or anything. He sees you as perfect, whole, and complete as He created you. And He loves you no matter what. Could we coax a question from someone to start the conversation? Yes. Would you speak loudly, please?
What I haven't seen to me, how do I know if it's the right one?
Yes. This is a good question. And you take this decision within you, and you maybe have 2 ways to go or 3 ways to go. Usually it is 2 ways, isn't it? But you take it within and allow yourself to feel if this direction is the best way or that direction and take them just one at a time. And sometimes it is good to write it down. Write it on paper and get a complete thought, get a complete description of what you should do. And put both the pros and the cons, and you can see it more clearly. There will come a time when you will be able to discern easily. But when you are learning discernment, and this is what we are speaking of, when you are learning to discern the truth and which way is the best, then it sometimes is a little confusing. But when you write it out, and when you ask for help and send God's love into making this decision, and wait until you feel the right way, it will come, and you will know. You see, there's another thing about this question that you may not have considered, that there is no wrong way. There are many, many ways, and you are asking which is the right way for my happiness and my peace and my spiritual well-being. If you do choose a way that does not fit into this, then you will soon know that you can change. God will not condemn you for it. He only loves you. And you should never condemn yourself for any mistakes. This is the largest so-called mistake that you can do, is guilt and self-condemnation. But as you face a decision, if you will put it all out on the table, so to speak, and not just think fleeting thoughts, but write it down and write both sides down, you will know. It may take a day or two, or maybe even a week, but if you need to make a decision hurriedly, then send God's love in great abundance and ask God to place your feet in the right direction. There is a saying, you take the first step and then ask God to take the next step for you. But you see, you must move. You cannot sit still and gain the understanding. And it matters not if you go the wrong direction. You will know, and then you can turn around and go another direction. This is what life on this plane is all about, is making mistakes and learning through them. I feel that there are no real mistakes. There are just learning experiences. Does this help your understanding? Yes.
I wish to thank the Don or somebody's been helping me. I've been getting the right direction and beautiful.
Yes. You are blessed, my dear one, for the understanding and the guidance that you know that you have. So very few have as much as you do. And we are speaking of spiritual understanding and the love that you pour forth from your heart. Continue to be that beautiful soul that you are, and to know that you are on the right path. God bless you. Are there other questions this evening?
I have a question.
Yes.
I have not circle if it's the physical manifestation of something that possibly is negative that's going on with my body, or if there's an actual physical manifestation of the progress that I made in my experience today. A problem with my left ear where all of a sudden I felt that there was like a signal that we use in testing radio these days.
Yes.
That kind of sound, and it was hard for me to hear anything that was going on around me, even though I know the people were still talking. And it was just for a few seconds, and then it went away.
Of course,
My question is, I am not sure if that's something that I am projecting negatively and manifesting it, or if it's something to do with progressing.
Did you feel pain with this?
Not at all.
Yes. You see, my dear one, when your teachers and your guides come quickly into your presence, this sometimes happens, and it may be a signal for you to stop and think, or it may be that they have just quickly come into your presence. And as you look at the moment of what is taking place, you will know, I feel that this is not a physical problem, and if it is, it will manifest itself. But the higher vibrations of your teachers and your guides are much higher than those who walk the physical plane. And when they come into your presence, they have to lower their vibrations. And even then, it is much higher, and you may feel some kind of manifestation in your physical body. This is the most common manifestation that is felt. And the group from Oklahoma, where Donald came from, was quite aware of this, and they had a name for it at that time, back in the 50s, sci-fi sound. Was it something like this?
Yeah.
Yes. And they learned to identify their teachers and the different speakers who came to talk to them through the different vibrations. Be not concerned about this, but know that it is the helpers that are around you. And if it happens again, or just now, you might think what was taking place at the moment. And if it was something to draw your attention to what you were doing, or what you were thinking, or the way that you were handling something, this may be apropos, or it may be just that they had come into your presence. Does this help you?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Yes. There's much communication that goes on between the other dimensions and your dimension of the physical plane. Communication in different ways. For example, when you say, I go to sleep at night, you really leave your body, and you are manifesting on these dimensions where you are vibrating from, the level of your consciousness. And you are having experiences at night that help you with your growth and help you with your physical experience. This is one of the ways that the intercommunication from different dimensions. But also, when you get a hunch about something, you might consider that this may be guidance. And it seems like, at first, that it's your own thoughts, but you will learn to discern Again, the word discernment. Which is your thoughts, and which are those who are given to you? You see, they are placed in your aura, and they're not forced upon you, because you have free will, and we cannot invade your free will. And neither can God. But if you receive the thought, then give it consideration, and you will learn to discern that which is your thoughts and that which is given to you from a higher source. Are there other questions this evening? This is a beautiful, beautiful circle of light. And the young people that have come tonight have come, whether they know it or not, because they're searching for more than they have. And I tell you, my dear ones, that each generation that comes into your plane is higher than the one before. At this particular time, there are the lower generations coming too. That is causing disruption, as you would think of it, in your world. But it is, again, opportunity. But there will come a time when the vibrations of this planet will be too high for those who are of the negative to incarnate, and they will have to go to another planet that is similar to what this one has been. And this is the golden age, and it will come forth in all its glory in the next 2,000 years. In the next 1,000 years, or a few hundred years, I should say, you will see changes, and these changes may seem awesome to you, but be not concerned, because you are always in the hands of God, and God is your protector because He is your creator. You cannot be destroyed. Remember this. There is no death. There is change, and this change is always for the better, even if it seems to be negative change. Some people have to go down the wrong road, make the wrong choices, until they awaken and decide they want better choices in their life. You who have come this evening, take what you can of this and leave what you do not understand, but try not to close your minds. Put it on the shelf if you do not understand, and later it may come forth in better understanding. Are there other questions this evening?
I have another question concerning the changes that we have talked about before and that have been talked about before. One of the things that I find difficult to release is, well, intellectually I realize that my daughter is an entity unto herself, and there are certain experiences that she has chosen for herself, and she has free will to do so. I still find it, I understand that, but I still find it difficult to give up the concern for her that I have. How would it be best to deal with it?
Send her God's love and release her to God. You see, my dear, there is a saying that has been told to the group that came before this one. Beware that you might be interfering with God's plan for her life. Even your own children, they have to have the experiences they came to experience. But do the best that you can to give a good example and talk to them in truth, but try not to let anger be there. In your childhood, you may have experienced a great deal of anger at times from your parents. Did you not? and this could carry over into your dealing with your daughter. I asked you to try to eliminate this because it is just an expression of fear. But be candid with her. She is reaching puberty, is she not? Or close to it? Yes. And so changes are coming in her body and in her life. And these changes are a part of the growth on the physical plane. Be not concerned, but be loving, be gentle, but be stern when you need to be, but in a loving way. Your concern is a carryover of fears from your childhood and maybe other lives. And do not allow this to manifest now that you have grown so much above your childhood. You have manifested a growth that is not equal to many on this plane. Very few have come as far as you have in this incarnation. Allow it to continue to be manifested in love. And try not to be so personally involved with your daughter. Now, this may sound wrong to you, but she is your only child, is she not? Yeah. And it is difficult when you love your child and you want everything for the best for them. But we did not come to this plane to have everything easy. We did not come to this plane to have everything perfect. Remember this. Be there for her, and let her know that you are always there for her, and love her. Teach her as best you can, but each night when you go to bed, release her to God, and each morning when you awaken, again release her to God, and send love to her. This would be the best that you could do for her. You cannot hold her above the experiences of this physical plane that she has come to experience. Do not try to, but understand that she needs these opportunities. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Yes. Life is a wonderful and beautiful experience when you understand. But sometimes our understanding slips and we get caught up in the confusion and illusion of this physical plane, and we forget who we are. This is why we come together in these weekly circles, is to remind ourselves that we are divine, that we are God creatures, and that we are children of God, and that His love is all around us at all times, within us, and everywhere that we go. But we have the freedom to choose the path of love or the path of confusion. Are there other questions this evening? As you move through your incarnation, remember the things that you have heard this evening and that you may hear in the future. Remember who you truly are, that you're not physical beings, that you are divine beings playing the role of a physical being. Remember that you can accomplish whatever you decide to accomplish, but also remember that you made a plan before you were born, and a general outline, but you still have free will, and you do not have to follow this plan. But if you will allow divine love to guide you, you will find that fulfilling this plan that you made will be the best for you in every way. It has been my blessed privilege to be with you and to communicate this message of love to you this evening. I am with you, my dear ones, even until the end of time. God blesses you, and good evening. Can we stand up, hold? Let us think of coming together in the physical by holding hands, as we have been together in spirit with this beautiful being of love, and bringing the love that he has brought to us down to the physical plane, and allowing God's love to go around this circle and gain momentum and build up, filling this room, spreading out over the city, and covering this planet, and going on out and out to the universe. Being a channel for God's love is one of the most beautiful experiences that we can have on this plane. Thank you for
We have had gonna have I mean people dear. Any of other that's the friend program. I need you like this and we get in bed. But you can put the first